Hey, everybody. Welcome to our weekly ecosystem office hours call. And we are joined, as always, by the best and brightest in the Pocket ecosystem. We have a jam-packed call today. So let's get into it. Our agenda will be, of course, as always, the protocol updates first, and then some foundation updates. And then we are going to hand it over to the Pocket Scan folks who have quite a presentation for you. So let's start off with protocol updates and Fred.
Thank you, Jinx. I'm just going to jump right in. We'll keep it very, very brief today, as the whole team is definitely in crunch time. I want to just give big shout outs to Brian and Olshansky for working through the migration work. We are getting very, very, very close to feature complete and should be feature complete this week. So we have a few things when we're talking about non-custodial staking and multi-sig wallets and just some other things that we're resolving conversations on. But for the most part, the migration is just about feature complete, and we'll continue to round that out this week. In addition with that, we're really getting ready for mainnet readiness. That includes validators, our internal dashboards on validators, onboarding some external validators, and really being ready to process on day one when D-Day comes. So node runners in the community expect me to reach out once we determine kind of how many externals we want to onboard before we hit the go live button on mainnet. For path updates, I just want to let everyone know we've been silently running at about 50% of all traffic processed by Grove is now on path. So for anybody who's curious, there's no production running of path. Yes, there is. A good chunk of what we've been doing is on path, and we're continuing to work through that migration. We're also going to be releasing some new QoS measures on path for Solana and Near. So expect the difficulty to maintaining your Solana node to go up substantially, and Path has a lot more teeth. So if you are not providing 6 epochs, providing the correct SPLs on Solana, expect to not get any relays in the very near future. Just rounding out, just general updates. Grove, unfortunately, we had to drop the support for Celestia due to insufficient traffic and just not enough supply. So we've dropped that from our portal, although we're considering bringing that back, and we're working on some scenarios where we can do the entire long tail of services and maintain them very nicely for our customers. And yesterday we had about a 90-minute downtime for dispatchers, which was very unfortunate, but Google decided to force a node pool upgrade on our dispatcher machine in the middle of the day without any warning. And that caused the dispatchers to roll, which brings the whole portal to a halt. This is solved and better in Path. Unfortunately, we weren't in a position to hot swap and do anything there, but we're hoping to boost that resiliency in the future. That is it. If you're talking, Jinx, you're muted.
God damn it. I'll go ahead and ask the question because I get asked 50,000 times a day, and I expect that there will want some sort of an answer. Do we have any timeline yet on when our 14-day timeline is going to kick off?
Not yet, but as soon as we know, everyone will know, and we'll put it out there immediately.
Thank you, sir. And moving on to foundation updates. Just as a side note, many of y'all have seen that we put out quite a bit of content these days, both about the ecosystem at large and about the specifics of the protocol and migration and all the rest of that in general. We have an article that is coming up shortly about some of the node creation and maintenance tools that are available in Shannon, some of the content that's been put out by Fred and Brian and other folks on the engineering team to be used once Shannon is live. We would like a node runner who has used that process in testnet to provide some feedback and a quote for our next article about it. And that will include a link back to your service. So first come, first serve, hit my DMs. If you say you're interested, you're done. So that's that for that. I will give a minute or two here to Kansu to talk about financials and the pro forma.
Thank you, Jinx. I'm actually gonna put my camera for this so people who doesn't know me, you can get to know me. ¿Cómo están? Very quickly, I just want you guys to know that the shared link for the performa is public for everyone, and we keep it updated on a daily to weekly basis. So if you have any questions, any aspect of item that you want to dig in, or anything that you would like to know about the projections from here until December 2025 and then 2026, just feel super free to just ping me or here in Discord or Telegram. I'm gonna leave all of my links here, so you guys just really feel free. I will love to jump on a call and explain anything that you guys have to explain. I know some of you have questions and go to Jinx and all, and that's perfect. He will definitely come to me. But just so you know, I'm always available to help anyone understand anything. And I will really love some feedback from you if you also want to have it even more clear, or if anything is not there under your perspective, just let me know and we will definitely work to have it that way. The main idea to have a public pro forma is for everybody to really know what's going on, how we're moving our finances and funds, where everything is allocated. So yeah, just seriously feel free to reach out to me whenever. I'm here to help in that way and to improve anything that we have to improve. Also super open. Thank
Beautiful.
you.
Thank you, Kansu. And yeah, we do end up getting asked the same questions a lot as people try to pick through details and all the rest of that on a regular basis. So there you go. That is a public invitation for anyone who is interested in any of the finite details of the pro forma, the budget, how it's spent, where it goes. We welcome you to book some time with our comptroller, and she will answer your questions directly.
Yeah, I know it's very complicated since we have payments in POKT, not POKT, whatever. So just let me know and I'll be here. I'll drop my links here in the chats too.
Excellent. We have made it a priority to have the clearest, most up-to-date, and most transparent financial reporting possible within the ecosystem. So the comptroller is there at your disposal should you like to dive into the details of that a little more. And on that note, I am going to hand it off to, is Ramiro, Jorge, who's doing the presentation today?
Hello,
Whichever
Jinx.
Ramiro can be the guy.
Perfect.
No.
Ramiro, then I'm giving it to you.
The introduction to our guys.
Yeah.
They will
I
do
will
that.
only introduce the guys, but it's neither me nor Jorge who's doing this presentation. It's actually Alan and Julio. You might not know them, but they are the ones doing the code for this new product that's called Igniter. I think some of you have heard about it. It's around staking, so they will be presenting you with everything from the basic content of what it is and why we need that, and then they will show you how it's actually working today on the Shannon testnet. So I leave you with them, guys. I don't know who's the one that's starting the presentation. Alan, Jorge, you can unmute and just talk.
Yep. Hi. Sorry. Yeah. I was gonna say maybe Alan, if you're ready, you can show the wallet progress we've made with the account migration part, and because that's kind of shorter, and then I can take over with the Igniter presentation.
Okay. Let me share screen. Hey guys, I'm sharing with you what is Soothe is our extension, and if some of you doesn't know what Soothe is, it's basically a browser extension to manage wallets, that handles multiple protocols. Right now we handle Morse, Shannon, and Ethereum basically. And today we are going to show you what is going to be the flow to migrate an account from Morse to Shannon. Right now, I have selected Pocket Morse testnet as my network. Basically, I have an account with only unstaked balance. And what I'm about to do is click on migrate. Here are some notes that you need to know about the migration. Basically, your Morse account only needs to have unstaked tokens, it cannot be staked with. Cannot be staked, like it cannot be a node or an app, and the account cannot be migrated before. And the channel account that you will use to migrate your POK need to exist in the channel blockchain. To exist, you need to have some tokens like POKT or POK. Here we're going to select our channel account. Select this one because it has POK. And basically, this is the summary. Here you are viewing what is the account that you are about to migrate, and everything is ready to proceed. If I enter my vault password and click migrate, right now that we have an error because the signature that is required by Shannon, we cannot replicate it exactly as they want because we are almost there. It is just a probable parsing error, but we are basically there. And after we have done it, this will be released for you guys to play around with it. If any of you have any question.
So for wallet migration, it's as simple as have a Shannon account, pick your Morse account, hit go.
You need to make sure that you can create channel addresses here on our wallet, but you need to make sure it has balance, that it exists on the network. That's why you need to probably go to the POKT and add POKT. That's something we cannot do right now. Maybe if there's the possibility to use an API or something, maybe we'll do that later. But right now, you just need to create your account. You can use the wallet to do that. And then you need to make sure it exists on the channel network. And after that, you're good to go.
Miss Kitty asks, can multiple Morse wallets be imported into a single Shannon wallet?
Yes.
I love it when the answers are simple.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that also is more for protocol, but so far what Alan saw, the answer is yes. The protocol guys have the last word, but
Yes. The answer is yes. So just for everyone is clear, you create a Shannon account, you send it a MACT or Morse account claimer token. So that account, sorry, you start fresh. You create a new wallet for Shannon, or you use an existing wallet because Kepler and Soothe, which you're looking at right here, they use the same crypto schemes that they have the ability to, you can reuse your seed phrase is what I'm trying to say. You can reuse your private keys or seed phrase for another wallet with Pocket Shannon. But that new address that's created on Pocket does not exist unless it has something inside of it. So there's this new temporary token called an MACT or Morse account claimer token that a faucet will distribute to new addresses. You just have to do it manually before you go through the migration process. Just giving you a heads up. But this is a question we're going to get asked over and over and over again. So everyone here is deputized to tell everyone who isn't here that this is something they need to do. And the link I just posted on the community calls chat explains this as well, way more technically. Just letting you guys know.
So
And is that
no more
claimer token? I'm sorry, go ahead, Julio.
No, I was just gonna say if there were more questions. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so I was just asking, is that claimer token part of what's being done with the Soothe wallet, or I'm not sure where that fits into the process?
No, the claimer token is something the protocol guys made. But somebody can explain this better. The only reason it exists is so that the wallet gets to exist in the state of the protocol on the blockchain. So before that, a wallet is just like a string. So you make this token transaction so that it becomes part of the state in the protocol. But please, again, if somebody knows better, like the general idea behind this, please go ahead.
Also, just to add here, we could mint that token into the new accounts if there is some kind of API, but currently there isn't. So it's something that must be done manually before starting this process. If we can, we will automate it, but today there is no way to add it to the Soothe wallet. So we cannot mint automatically that token into your new Shannon account, even if you create it with the Shannon wallet.
Olshansky told me at least that the faucet will contain an API. Alan reviewed it, and the API is there, but we need to try it before we try to implement something more smooth for the user, so the user does not need to go to the faucet and print that MACT token. But until we get time to try that API and the API is live, we are not sure if that is working or not, so we are not providing that feature.
Yeah.
Can I
also, when this
add
is, yeah, please go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to say we are loosening a constraint that should make it such that the non-custodial account, so the account that you're putting in the new Shannon address for here, won't have to exist on chain prior to migrating. Sorry, this is I'm thinking about suppliers. That's what I'm looking at all day, and I realize we're just talking about accounts here. Never mind, ignore me.
All good. I just so people understand this a little more clearly. You know, in most blockchain structures, until there has been some activity, some initial activity, a wallet address is only theoretical. It doesn't exist. It can't really be found. So there has to be some initial action which instantiates that wallet. And so what I'm hearing here is that this migration token or transfer token is what's instantiating that Shannon account, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Beautiful. Okay. And for everyone's benefit, we are working on a migration FAQ to go on the Pocket website. We should have that up in short order. I'm trying to have it finished in the next day or two. And that will be an evolving document that contains instructions, links to documentation, and answers to all of the common questions. So once that is up, we will be adding it to our favorite bots around the ecosystem so that they have it as well. And we will blast it out as much as is everywhere that is possible. In a quick answer to Braddock's question, he said a guy that was banned said 30 million was Pocket were sent out of DAO wallet. I confirmed it on Pocket Scan, which is more than initially planned. No, that's simply a misunderstanding. What you're talking about is what Pocket is sold on exchanges versus what is used for the expenses within the ecosystem. If you check the pro forma, you'll see that less than 15 million Pocket was sold on exchanges last month. The movement of Pocket from Treasury to Foundation Wallet and such is related to the monthly operational expenses of the protocol. That's simply a misunderstanding, and the person on who was banned was fudding, essentially. And he wasn't banned for that as well. He was banned for being someone who's been banned multiple times. Any other questions about this wallet migration process?
I just wanted to add, Jinx, if I may, like this is going to be released in the next couple of days. You're welcome to use Soothe, and Soothe supports testnet. So you can just give it a try. Like if you don't feel confident enough or whatever, you can just download it, create a testnet accounts, and try to migrate them and see what happens. I think that's you're welcome to do that too before you do the real thing.
Yeah, please go ahead and drop the URL to where you can download the Soothe wallet from so that people can start playing with that. And I do want to make clear as well that this is not the only option that will be out there, but this is a convenient and easy to use option and something that you can start testing with now. Evo Sunother asked, I did not understand if I have two wallets, two key file JSON files, can I upload them to Soothe both at once into a single new Shannon account? And yes, that was the answer previously. You can import existing wallets into your Soothe wallet and then execute them to the same Shannon account.
The only thing there is that you cannot load both at the same time. You need to import them one by one.
Yes, correct. That would be two separate transactions. Other questions about wallet migration? Okay, we've got an update in the chat that you might want to check out that indicates what the next presentation from Pocket Scan will be. They'll be up again next Wednesday. And they will do a deep dive on provider setup with migration tooling based on the ongoing discussion now. For those of you who are deeply interested in the technical side of the migration process, you want to follow, if you're not already following the migration working group channel in Discord, you should be. That is where you're going to see the most up-to-date progress on all of the migration tooling and other things that are being worked on. We saw, for instance, that Raid Guild has their first multi-sig migration tooling up there and being reviewed now from a technical perspective. And that relates to bridge updates and the rest of that. Appreciate greatly the work that they are doing as well. Julio, I see that you have a presentation stream up, so I will pass it over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So I wanted to we also wanted to show something we've been working on for some time now. It's a tool called Igniter, and it revolves around the staking experience for users. So I'll just walk quickly through some slides, and then I can show you at least the staking functionality operating. So what is Igniter? Igniter is an open source tool set. And the general idea is that it enables effortless. The word effortless is key in what we had in mind when doing this for non-custodial staking. And the general goal is to bridge the gap between investors, no runners, and enthusiasts. And I'll try to go in more detail about that. Like what it offers investors is a smooth staking experience. Also, the investors will have the freedom to choose between a pool of vetted service providers. We can talk more a little bit about what that vetted means, but and they also have control over their non-custodial assets. What this tool offers providers is a low effort window to reach potential customers. It's low effort because ideally a node runner or service provider can put up its own version or its own service for this, can subscribe, register to offer his services, and then now customers are free to choose them from any delegator or intermediary that supports them. So it's an standardized API again, so no real adaptation needed. So again, low effort. And then smaller providers have get the opportunity to scale without having to build a whole full front end for this. Like they can probably pick this tool, put it up, and have it to offer to their own customers if they wanted to. So enthusiasts, like if you're not really a node runner, you still can participate by running your own intermediary service and earn a share of staking in the process if you so want it. So I'm going to talk just a little bit more about what the different components are. So the intermediary, we're open to name for name suggestions too, but it's the investor-facing part of the whole tool set. It allows anonymous authentication using a Pocket wallet and offers the staking and node management functionality. So you have the provider platform, which is intentionally used by node runners or managed by node runners that desire to do this, how to participate here. It offers them tools for exporting new generated supplier keys and allows them to control with which intermediaries they want to work with. This is what I meant. Like if you're a small node runner, you just want to offer this to your customers. Well, you just put up an intermediary, put up your provider platform, and you just communicate between you two, and that's completely acceptable. So there is a third part, which is the governance registry. This is just a repository where we plan to store the names, public keys, and unique identifiers for vetted service providers and registered intermediaries. The idea with this is to ensure trust and transparency, where everybody can go and see, oh, this is the people that was vetted and this is their public keys. So kind of putting it all together, I wanted to share kind of a graphic of what a regular flow is. Pretty much a user can come into the intermediary, select an amount to stake, select a provider to stake with, and when they provide this information, the intermediary will communicate with the selected provider. The provider will give back the supplier configurations needed. I don't want to go, or I don't want to go immediately into details like what this means in terms like, but pretty much it gives back all the information necessary to make a stake and in that with their own platform. So it also stores the keys it generated. This is for later usage by the node runners, so they can just say, oh, I have new stakes and I need to go and configure my relay miner with them or do whatever I need to do. I can export them and do my thing. Once the user gets back the offer from the provider or the configurations, the user is prompted to sign the transaction. So here we go. So this is non-custodial entirely. So the user has control of this. So the user has to say, okay, these are my transactions. I'm going to sign them. And once they do, meaning that they accept that this is the stake that they're going to make, these transactions are stored for background processing by the intermediary service. Pretty much this is a regular flow. The registry here offers both of the applications an opportunity to learn about others and like for the service provider, they find out about other intermediaries and intermediaries find out about registered providers. One of the key things of the registry and the public key part of things I mentioned earlier is because there is no need for intermediaries and providers to do any kind of negotiations or authentications. They just talk by signing messages. Like the intermediary knows has a private key of its own, and the public key is offered in the registry, and the intermediary signs these messages, sending them to the provider. That's how the provider decides if this is a valid message or not. So there's no need for them to kind of do some pre-arrangement or anything like that. A little bit of kind of permissionless there. So the keys are encrypted in storage, and the intermediary does not save any sensitive information from the user. In this case, when the user signs the transaction, the private key of the user remains in the wallet. Obviously, never reaches the intermediary in any way, never goes into the network, doesn't go anywhere. What the intermediary saves is only the signed payload that is going to be sent to the network. And obviously, this signed payload cannot be modified or anything like that. That's the beauty of this thing. So what I want to do now is give you like a live example of this, even though it's from my local. So pretty much this flow that I show you here, and then maybe we can move to questions. I assume you might have some.
Yeah, Julio, I'll be reading them out and with some of the answers as well, since some of them are PNF based.
Cool. Okay, so just a moment. So this is our landing page. Nothing really special so far, just a little bit of information. We're gonna continue to enhance this with proper documentation, maybe a list of providers and things like that. But I really wanted to show you a little bit of the process of doing the sign in and how it works. When you want to connect to a website, anyone that has worked with the apps probably is familiar with this, but it's essentially a two-step process for us. In a way, you need to first pick a wallet. This wallet are automatically discovered if any other wallet you have installed supports this protocol. You decide it's going to support it. And so the first thing you need to do is pretty much choose the account you are going to use with the system. This is your identity in the system. Right now, I'm going to use this account to do my staking, but in future iterations, that's not necessarily going to be. You will be free to choose all the accounts which you handle staking, and then you're going to be able to pick and use them whenever you're going to do an operation. So once I'm connected, okay, I'm really sorry. This is live. I'm not sure what just happened here.
Julio, you are the window of the wallet is not being displayed, I think.
It's not. It is. It was not. It was not showing.
Nope.
Give
was
me a minute.
showing.
It was.
The
I
sign
saw it.
one.
Yeah,
Oh, the
but it
sign.
didn't come up. Yeah, that's what I meant. Give me a moment. Let me see. I'm truly sorry, guys, for this.
Hey, that's what comes with live presentations.
Yeah. I can tell you we tested this a million times right before. Let me come back and so I'm sharing my entire screen now. Let's see where it goes. So once you are connected, you're prompt to sign a message. This is something we brought from the Ethereum ecosystem. They call it Soothe, signing with Ethereum. We just made our own similar implementation of signing with POKT. The general idea here is that we give you this standardized message so that you can read like what we're talking about. Like this is the chain that we are on. This is the wallet I am asking you to sign in with. This is my website, and so on. Um, and once you sign it, we are able to validate this with your public key and say, hey, I know it's you now. So that's how you control pretty much the access to this application. So this is a dashboard. It's still pretty naked. Let me show you right now like the total amount of staking, which in beta the minimum is 1. So we've been testing with this amount. So in order to, I'll go back a little bit. So in order to make a stake, you have a stake button here. The general idea is that the user will choose like the amount they. I'm sorry, what was that? Hello?
B-Chain was unmuted. He fixed it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the user picks the amount they want to stake with. Like eventually, in this case, I'm just choosing 1 because that's I want to stake from POP in beta. And once they do that, they can see here the fee that they're going to be charged by this particular delegator. This is obviously configured by the people that administer this instance. Next week, we're going to see more about some of the setting up of these environments. But for now, I'm going to limit myself to this. So essentially, what we did is we got the amount you want to stake. we make some calculations to give you, oh, these are the providers that can serve you based like in things like, is this provider enabled here? Is this provider healthy? Like I've been able to communicate with it in the last 5 minutes. Things like that that are automatically taken care of by the system. So in this case, I only have one particular provider enabled, but you can see other providers. If you had more, you would see more on the list ready to be chosen from. So once I pick one, you can get a summary of something like, hey, you're gonna have, this is the service fee that we're charging you. Operational funds is just something configurable by the provider. It's like the amount that we want to transfer to the node for claims and things like that. And so we're just kind of doing that automatically for you. And I can show you like, hey, you're gonna have two operations, one cent for operational funds and one stake of one pot. So that you can see, oh, this is what I'm gonna do. So at this point, this is what I was talking about when we went into the supplier provider and asked them for the configurations. They came back, and now I have a node here ready to be staked with the configurations of the provider, like the different services. I don't know if you're familiar with the new Shannon staking, like the nodes have each individual service has different URLs and things like that, and you can have different rev shares their service. And we show all this here so the user can see, hey, the service provider app is charging you 1%, intermediary app is charging 1%, and you are getting 98% of the revenue of this node for this chain and so on. So you can also see the other transaction, which is we're going to be sending that particular node from this account, 5 POKT. So now that we're ready, I can just sign my transaction. Once my transaction is signed, it gets a schedule. And you can see that this transaction is pending. Eventually, when it succeeds, takes about 5 minutes, you're going to get a new node in the system. You can see details of this transaction. Once it's executed, you're going to get the hash here as well. So I want to open up for questions here while we wait, just in the interest of using the time wisely.
Yep, and I'm going to answer one of them already. So do we have alternative to Igniter in the ecosystem, and will it be open source because PNF is paying for its development? As Jorge has already pointed out, it is open source from the very beginning. This is a PNF sponsored project and something that we know has been missing in the ecosystem for a long time. The ability to do one-click staking on the network has been complicated for a lot of reasons, not the least of which is that different node runners had different kinds of environment. With the use of the Igniter tool, every node runner can not only participate in using the Igniter tool, you can also literally host a version of it yourself on your own website as a stake.yourstaking.com. So this tool is very much something that has been developed and paid for by the foundation for its development in order to be a useful tool for the entire ecosystem, to make it easy for your customers to stake and to manage their stake within your ecosystem. So everyone is encouraged to dig into it, see what it's about. If you want to be on the supported list of vetted node runners, once Igniter's live, then we will make it easy to get added to the list as a vetted node runner, which really just means that, you show that you are a capable node runner, who has some nodes running already in the network and is a reasonable, legitimate person. Other questions about that? Yep, exactly. Also, every node runner can have a website to their clients and admin as keys for free. Yep. If you wanted to have a stake.mypocketstaking.com using this software on there, then that's there. And you notice in the demonstration that the product was not branded to any particular node runner. It's set up intentionally to allow you to brand it yourself.
Right?
Other questions? It seems like we're good for now.
In the
Yeah.
meantime, what we are waiting right now is the time for that transaction be success or failed, whatever it happens, on the next block. So
Yeah, so it was successful. And now you can come to see no details about that node, like the stake amount in that node. Um, you can see here that there's plenty more functionality we're planning to do, like off staking the node. I don't think this makes sense now in Protege channel, but on staking you can do. And you can see the history of transaction related to this node in the system.
Beautiful.
So yeah.
All right. It doesn't seem like we have any other questions about that. I'm excited to have this coming out, and it's part of a suite of tools that we intend to provide node runners, and by we I mean the foundation, to make it as easy as possible to onboard your own customers, to know where nodes need to be staked, to have some general sense of uh, you know, uh, staking by location and by health and by latency and by chain across the network. If you've seen Grove's heartbeat tool or status.grove.city, you have a sense of some of the information that we think is important to node runners. And we want to make sure that those sorts of tools are out there and well supported among the ecosystem. So if you think that there are other types of tooling that you would like to see as a node runner that would help you run your business more efficiently and more effectively, then please do reach out and let us know. Thanks a bunch to the Pocket Scan team for your presentations today. If anyone has any follow-up questions on anything that they've presented, please feel free to type them in the chat, and we will get them answered quickly. I'm going to go backwards here because I know there's a couple of questions outstanding. Is Shannon capable of road to 250 chains from day zero like before? Yeah, I mean, Shannon's capable of way more than just that, because Shannon's capable of supporting all forms of open data, not just chains themselves. And we've already seen that in a couple of structures between LLM queries, Art's personal experiments with Tor nodes and signal proxy relays. I would suggest that there are far more than 250 data sources out there which can be supported on Shannon from day zero. That's not a question at all. I do want to jump up to the question you asked a few back, Braddock, because that's definitely an important one. Bybit added ST tag for Pocket, which is a tag that is being added to coins just before they get delisted on Bybit. Yeah, ST stands for special treatment. Some of the projects I followed recently were delisted 30 days after ST tag was added to them. Yes, and that's something that we've seen a bit of with Bybit. We're trying to figure out exactly what's going on now. When I reached out to them, they specifically said, and I will read it out: we have observed that the Pocket USDT trading pair has consistently failed to meet the specified standards regarding 200 bips single-sided depth, trading volume, and daily trading frequency. That is flat out incorrect, inaccurate, not true. We provided them with all of the transactional charts from the last few months, showing that spreads have been lower than 50 bips for the last 2 months and beyond. Volume is strong and consistently around 50K per day average, and liquidity has also been consistent. So, based on everything that they state as their requirements, Pocket meets all of those. And literally, the only reason that I can come up with that is a legitimate, valid reason for them to treat Pocket this way is that they may have it confused with another token. I mean, that's literally the only legit reason I can see that they might be making these inaccurate claims. So we have reached out to them and appealed that treatment. We expect to, hopefully see a correction on that on their side. But at the end of the day, exchanges can do whatever they like, and that's you simply don't have much control over that. Other questions? No, Braddock, we are not having a new ticker. It is Pocket and will be Pocket. Ramiro is making a joke there. Questions for Art and Grove team. How happy or unhappy are you with QoS and latency for traffic passing through path? I may be wrong, but latency seems quite high. And is Shannon improving QoS of Morse, or is that exclusively depending on gateway stack being used?
Not sure where the latency piece is coming from. If you're looking at the status dashboard, that's just pulling from US East. And the amount of traffic going through path is 50% of total traffic, but it's unevenly distributed between each region. So I can't answer the question of depending on what you're visibly seeing. On our end, we're seeing great numbers across the board. So much so that we've begun sharing this with our existing set of investors over the last couple of months. So we're very happy with the latency for the traffic going through the network. Is Shannon improving QoS? Yes, and in doing so, I believe I mentioned this a little bit ago, and I'm fine going through this again. When you have a decentralized, incentivized network, you have an adversarial network by default, because when you don't need to dox yourself and when there are incentives in place, bad actors are going to try to take advantage of that, especially when the rules are not enforced on chain. So what I'm trying to say here is quality of service is not enforced on chain, it is enforced off chain. The current gateway server kit by Nodis and the non-path version of Grove's dispatching software, the old portal, or the portal of days of whatever I'm trying to say, the existing portal, they do all of the quality of service enforcement off chain to try to weed out these adversarial actors. Unfortunately, neither does a phenomenal job. With Path, we are able to put in all the specific checks that we've always wanted. So as Fred said at the beginning of this call, there are Solana specific checks. There are near specific checks. All the EVM checks are now much more robust. There are archival specific checks that didn't always work, and they are more dynamic. So what people have been doing in the past, to give you an example, is we had a hard-coded block or set of values that we were looking for every single chain in the past. And once node runners got a whiff of that, they were just going to return that, even if as the result, even if the chain they were supporting was pruned, because they knew what to look for. So they engineered our check. So what we're doing now is we have a more robust system that is dynamic to prove that all the nodes are archival, because we've made it a statement that every node must be archival on the network. Therefore, an archival check will be run. I believe I've asked the team to make it run on every request, even if the request isn't trying to go to a historical block. What this will do is it will weed out all of the nodes that are not following the off-chain socially agreed upon rules, which is every node for a specific chain has to be an archival node, because those nodes will no longer get rewards. And so that means all the good actors will get all the relays, even if the relay isn't an archival specific relay, while all the bad actors will be filtered out. And we should see a quick shuffling of what that looks like. In preparation for this, and in working with, I would say, call out Breezy here, because he has been the one who's been harping on this the most, we've also lowered the minimum amount of nodes that we need to form a session from 24 to 5, which is the minimum a node the Morse can support right now. So we are doing everything we can to make sure that all of the restrictive checks that Path is enforcing off-chain will result in a less adversarial network on-chain that we can on Morse, and all of this will propagate over to Shannon as well. So yes, to the very long-winded answer of saying, yes, I am very happy with the time investment spent on Path.
Anaski asks, can Soothe Vault be used to bulk migrate multiple accounts to Shannon? Yeah, I think you know, from I guess we're talking about like, do you mean like multiple wallets? Anaski?
No, literally multiple accounts, mainly the accounts we used to have different nodes in different regions with the existing platform we have today. So yeah.
Node migration is not going to be done through the Soothe wallet in this process. That is going to be a different process. Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
All right, to answer this question, I don't know if it's Ahes or Aegis, but so whichever. For a network, for a session to form, meaning for us to be able to process a request, we need a session to form. And for a session to form, there must be at least 5 available nodes on Pocket Network Morse for that session to form. It doesn't have to be 5 networks from Colorius or Weaver or NodeFleet or anywhere else. It's just 5 nodes total, 5 Pocket nodes total. That's it. It used to be 24. So what we used to do, to give you an idea, is we would bootstrap onto the network 30 nodes, just in case some failed, so that a session could form. And one of the things we have a whole list of things we check for when we see requests failing, which is, and one of the first things we check for are there the minimum amount of nodes reachable for the chain? In this case, it used to be 24, now it's 5. This is also what FChains is helping support, to provide a minimum amount of Pocket nodes staked for a given chain. The hope is that there's always more than 5, but that always is a factor of traffic.
Other questions? Oh, Anaski says I can help testing. Absolutely. I mean, this is, you know, if you're not active in the migration working group channel, and I'm not saying that you're not Anaski, but I'm just saying for everyone, we very much welcome any and all collaboration on these testing tools as we're moving into the final stage here. You know, this is very much a community effort, and we are going to need the top node runners ready to roll on that cutover day, to make sure that as much of the network is migrated as possible within that initial window. I would love to see, ideally, 90% of stake nodes accounted for on the backside on Shannon within that first 24 hours after the cutover happens. Maybe that's asking a lot, but I think if we can get the majority of the known node runners in our ecosystem all working together for that day, I do think that's possible. So please make sure that you're up to date and up to speed. Volunteering, like Anaski's doing here in this chat, is, I mean, like, you don't even have to ask. We absolutely want your participation in that. Braddock asks, oh boy, those all caps are something. Does Grove still have support from its previous VC investors, and do you maybe have planned new fundraising investment round? Not sure entirely how relevant that is here to this particular conversation.
Totally not relevant at all, but we always have support. We have a board. We speak with the board regularly. I speak with our investors regularly, as does Olshansky and Fred. Nothing, and also that is absolutely not relevant to anything we're talking about here, but I wouldn't worry about it.
Evo Son Other says, most important question, are we all in this call going to be millionaires this year? You know, I very much hope that all of the work and all of the faith and all of the belief that has been invested in this team, along with all of the capital, is paid back in multiples as we complete this journey. That's, I have been part of this ecosystem since 2017. I've been there every step of the way through up and down and good and bad. I was there for the all-time high, and people tell me now that maybe I should have just cashed out everything then. Instead, I went all in on the network, staked most of everything, and took over supporting the community through the den and through taking on these weekly calls. I am clearly the dumbest person alive in how much I love Pocket. So, I certainly hope that I am well rewarded for my faith and effort along the way, along with everyone else. But the fact is, it's a community, right? And none of us carries this thing alone. There are many, many different roles that play out in this ecosystem, from investor to staker and node runner to validator runner, and to the various individual companies who have worked their asses off building the tooling and working on the protocol and all the rest of that. And if I tried to read off and say thank you to everyone meaningful who's contributed to this, it would take me hours. But yes, I certainly fucking hope so. I'll tell you that. We are 1:02 p.m. We have run long this morning, but I think it was a useful and necessary amount of time in this. Thank you all for hanging out, and thank you, Pocket Scan, for your presentation, and we're looking forward to seeing more of that come out. And we will see you all same time next week, same channel.